welcome to the first race of our annual Scam GT. Last season we did Formula 1 cars, now we're doing GT3 cars. Here are our racers and qualifying results. Qualifying is not filmed, to be clear, but Trumpy will set a blistering time of 2 minutes and 4 seconds with Boris following behind, 2 minutes and 7. Go! The Scam GT is underway at Monza. Down into the first corner, you can see Boris running a little deep, and as Tangent hitting the blocky barrier here. A unfortunate feature of this racetrack here, but Tommy is running a little wide. He's losing grip on those fresh tires. Boris running closely behind Trumpy, who is holding a solid P1 in that Ferrari. Tommy sliding out and hitting a barrier in his Corvette. Let's run that race replay again. Boris tried to run a very ambitious late-braking move, but Trumpy very easily pierced through and found his way back to P1. Now we are back into Trumpy's camera, entering lap 2 of the Scam GT, with Boris following closely behind in his yellow Corvette, switching to the high-quality wing camera. As you can see, the colors are actually quite bright here. But Trumpy is running into the second chicane here. Very solid speed here. Tommy is a little bit behind, but you see a close battle between Daniel and Tanjeet. Tanjeet is now in P3, no! And it's not for long and not meant to be. Tanjeet, P4. Current position update. Trumpy in P1, Boris P2, Daniel P3. We have Tanjeet in P4 and Tommy in P5. Entering lap 3 is Trumpy in the 488 GTE. Hear the song of a twin turbocharged Ferrari V8 as he holds that lead. But here's Boris behind in a naturally aspirated Corvette, trying to catch up, but doesn't seem like he can gain enough speed here. The Corvette is actually quite an edgy vehicle as far as handling is concerned. But you see the two Porsches are very close together. Tanjeet is trying to chase Daniel down for that P3 that he had for only those few seconds. Trumpy, very clean run in a P1, lap number 4. But you can see he's not making too many mistakes here. And that's the song of flat 6. Tanjeet in P4, trying to chase down Daniel. You can see he's just in his sights. Now let's see if we can make a move. You see a very clean getaway for Daniel here in the first chicane. Tanjeet trying his best to catch up now. But you can see he is closing the gap in the second chicane here. He is gaining quite a lot of ground on Daniel in the black Porsche here. He might be able to steal P3 in lap number 5. Not quite enough yet. Running through the last couple corners. It's very close. Trumpy holding a very solid and convincing P1. And Tanjeet is through, overtaking Daniel down the last corner. Into lap number 5, he steals P3 away from Daniel in the same... And Boris is flipped over. What happened? And a very catastrophic time for Boris here in P2. He's going to need to gain a lot more ground than that. But you can see right up ahead, Tommy has crashed his Corvette right out. But he's going to run back into the track here. He is a couple laps down from from Daniel up ahead, who is quite a long distance away now. He's going to have to make up a lot of ground. The AF Corsa Ferrari. Trumpy is very clean here. Not making any mistakes whatsoever. Wow, right down the straight. Daniel is gaining ground on Tanjeet now. It seems to be a firefight between the two Porsches here. Running through the second chicane. He has a very good entrance and getaway, but he's running wide. You want to be very careful in that corner. It's very touchy. Tommy trying to make up some ground here. Last season in the Scam GP, his performance wasn't quite there when he was teamed up with Boris, who we're looking at now. In P2, entering lap number 7. It seems ever since his stint with the McLaren Formula 1 team. Oh, and we have Tommy running wide here, who is being lapped by Tanjeet in the turquoise Porsche, as well as Daniel. They're very close together. He's trying to gain confidence with that Corvette, which he's not quite getting yet. This is the first race of the season. They've undergone some relatively extensive testing. But as you can see, having to cut the corner there, he is struggling. the grid is just quite shuffled here. You have... Oh my gosh! And that is Trumpy crashing out in his 488. He hit some kind of sausage curb and his car just went absolutely flying. That's very hard to explain, really, but he is entering lap number 9. Relatively unscathed, I suppose? Entering the first chicane. Doesn't seem like too much trouble for him at the moment, but that was a little bit costly, so can Boris possibly gain more ground and catch up to the Ferrari? Oh, doesn't seem quite yet. Entering lap number 9, that's Boris in his yellow C8 Corvette. A very difficult car to drive. As you can see, some oversteer on that long corner. Entering a second chicane now. Just closing in on those apexes, holding a decent amount of speed. This is Daniel behind in P4. He's trying to gain confidence with that Porsche. He had some pace here. However, you know, making a run from P5 isn't easy. Tanjeet in the same car is running pretty well, and Boris running a little late on the brakes, it looks like. Now down the back stretch here, lap number 10 of the Scam GT. Positions are the same. We have Trumpy in P1, Boris in P2, Tanjeet in P3, Daniel in P4, and Tommy in P5. The gaps are quite long. Now gaps are over a second for each driver. Daniel is losing ground. Maybe the tires are being worn out too quickly, but it's not enough to catch Tanjeet, who is having a decently consistent run here, having trouble specifically in this corner. Curious if Daniel is making the same mistake. Now you can see Trumpy. Hold on, is that the black Porsche up ahead? It is! Trumpy is about to lap Daniel, who is in P4. As you can see, a clean run really pays off. This was evident last season when Boris raced for McLaren. He had a very clean race all throughout and managed to completely dominate the championship. Now the first race of the Scam GT, we might see Trumpy really put his driving skill to use. And you can see now he's starting to catch up to Daniel. Daniel is somewhat under pressure here. He's really scrambling, but his focus should not be on the Ferrari behind, but more so the turquoise Porsche ahead. Boris, P2. Still quite a distance behind and sort of in the middle of nowhere. Tanjeet is a distance behind from him, so he is holding P2 quite solidly in lap number 12. Of course, the Corvette is not an easy car to accustom oneself to, so the two Corvette drivers are clearly struggling a little bit. Now they're running side by side. Oh, what's going on? And they make contact at the first chicane. That is a yellow flag. Yellow flag has been triggered, which means no racers allowed to overtake. However, Daniel is as he is being lapped. And you can see the race replay here. He is being lapped. However, he is running what seems to be either a defensive move or unawareness, and they hook the tires there. Oh, that's not very savory for Trumpy, but this might put Boris into contention if he can play things right. Tanjeet will be loving this, as he will be holding his P3 quite well. And that's... Tommy sliding out in the Corvette. It's just not working for him. I suppose like a puzzle piece, he just isn't really clicking with that Corvette's style and power. It's a little bit on the harder side to drive. And you can have Tanjeet here, who is another Porsche stablemate for Daniel, who is a little worried, but admittedly probably quite happy that he is not under any immediate threat. Boris in P2, still holding a really solid run through here. You can hear that naturally aspirated V8 just sing down the corners of the Temple of Speed. Almost a fully flat-out attempt to take that corner. Very bold, and that's what you want to do. You want to build up the confidence till you have all that pace. And you can see the gap between Daniel and Tanjeet quite far now. Tanjeet doesn't seem to be in any immediate trouble, but he is the one with the closest gap at the moment, so he might have to pick up his pace if he wants to catch Boris. Oh! Getting oversteer, running off the track, losing traction. Oh, that is very devastating for Boris. Very clearly frustrated. We are on lap 15 of the Scam GT. He is struggling to really put that yellow sports car where it should be. Tanjeet in P3 here, not under any immediate threat. He is quite loving that Porsche, but we have, As you can see, someone else is really loving his Ferrari as he is about to lap the turquoise Porsche of Tanjeet. Oh, Daniel is running wide. That's going to be very costly for his P4 run to P3. Now we have Trumpy having a very solid run. Oh my god! And Boris hitting the blocky barrier there. That's not going to be good for his attempts to catch up to P1. But P2 is not a bad place to be by any means. However, every move might get you closer to Tanjeet, who is behind. And you can see he is very frustrated with the handling of his car. Maybe something's not configuring right. Something's just not working in that thing. Who knows? But Boris is clearly trying to make that package work at the moment. Tommy, not so much. But he is trying. Trumpy here is having his tires are possibly being a little worn out here. We're on lap 17. Those tires are 17 laps old. Maybe he's having a little bit of trouble holding that thing together. So if Boris can capitalize, or maybe he won't be able to capitalize. And it's it sounds amazing. It's a flat 6 song of that Porsche. Now we are in lap 18. The gaps are very wide. Boris holding a very solid run, but you can see a lot of oversteer, a lot of movement in the rear. Tanjeet as well. Lots of motion. But right behind him in the Scarlet Ferrari is Trumpy, who is about to lap Tanjeet. Tanjeet, mind you, is in P3. This has been an absolutely dominant run from Trumpy. Now we're entering the back straight here. Tanjeet, of course, not necessarily a threat from being lapped here because he is quite behind. But oh my god, and they make contact! They make contact! Very costly for Tanjeet. He's not going to be very happy about that. Lap number 19. And you can see Trumpy has not faltered once. This Ferrari has been very solid all around. For context, this car has the least amount of power. Some drivers were theorizing before the race that the power figures might have something to do with how easy the cars are to handle and drive. And this is Exhibit 1. The Corvette has the most amount of power here. It's heavy too. And that is Tommy trying and struggling. It's just not a good day for him, unfortunately. Trumpy having quite a near miss. As you can see from the race replay, very, very dangerous. Oh, goodness. And that's Tommy hitting the sausage curb. Oh, no! And that's Tanjeet making direct contact with the gray Corvette of Tommy. This has been an absolute disaster so far. We might have to trigger a race adjustment. So what will happen next is that all racers will have to stop and reconvene. We'll be commencing a race restart to say. A rolling start. And race adjustment has been triggered. Race adjustment has been triggered. So Trumpy will be stopping here at the final corner here. We are lap 20 of the Scam GT. 5 laps to go and a race restart has to be triggered. So all racers will unlap themselves and we will be running a rolling start. Now Trumpy might possibly not like this idea given how far his lead has been so far. However, if he can maintain his composure, he might be able to hold that P1 to himself. Boris here catching up. And this might be the chance for all the racers to really play their cards right. Now, Tommy is going to unlap himself, but this might be his chance as well to come to grips with that Corvette. Oh! And it's still a few struggles. But I suppose we'll find out later. Yellow flag. The race restart has been commenced. All racers are only to go when Tommy passes the green flag when he passes the line. Down into turn 1, the Scam GT has started again. Lap 21 of the Scam GT. Tommy making contact again. No, not a good day for him. He is in P5. Trumpy in P1, Boris P2, Tanjeet P3, Daniel in P4. Tanjeet here, he is gaining a lot of ground. The racers are very close now. Let's see if anyone has a chance to really challenge the Ferrari for that P1. Tanjeet having a really solid run. He is gaining a lot of ground on Boris up ahead in the yellow Corvette. And you can see here, he is very close by. Down the final straight here. Lap 22. He's holding on here. He's running deep on the brakes. And that is Tanjeet through to P2. And Boris finds that he made a little mistake while under pressure. This is very good for... Oh! And not good at all. The turquoise Porsche has made contact with the sausage curb, putting him down possibly to P4. Boris is back in P2. I'm sure he's smiling a ton about that. But Trumpy here, well, he smiles all day long. The Scarlet Ferrari has not lit off P1 ever since the race has begun and the race restart has been commenced. We are on lap 23, only 2 laps away from the finale of our first race here at Monza. Daniel now is in P4. He is clawing for his chance to get his place back where Tanjeet is right now. Tommy here, he's holding... Oh! Boris is sliding out! What's going on? And his car is stuck! That's Tanjeet into P2! And Daniel into P3! That is... And he's just clearly frustrated. The car is just not working as a package together. And you see Tommy here. He's really trying, he's struggling now, but he is up in P4. He might be able to capitalize off that mistake, entering lap 24. Trumpy here, who has not made any mistakes. It's a flawless run. The Ferrari is unbelievably stable, very suited for this track. And now, we are in lap 24. Tanjeet is in P2 in the Manti Racing turquoise Porsche. Daniel right behind in the black RSR. He might be able to make some ground here. Oh, he has to cut the corner, braking way too late. But Tanjeet here, in lap 24, he is struggling. The rear tires are absolutely on fire. But he, oh no! And his damage! He's crashed in the towards the final laps here. Now that is Daniel into P2, Tommy into P3. Tanjeet is down to P4, but look at that. The mistake alone has put Boris into contention. He is in P5. He might be able to claw his way back as we enter the closing penultimate lap of the Scam GT. Down in the second chicane, and it's double contact. Tanjeet and Tommy have crashed. And he calls for a yellow flag, and a yellow flag will be granted. That means all racers are not allowed to overtake until a green flag has been declared. All racers have to be on track, and it's a green flag towards the finale of the race. The very closing stages. Tanjeet in P4, Daniel in P2. He will be very happy with a P2 finish. But Boris is not content with that. No, it's a crash. It's a contact at the final lap. And that is Tanjeet into P2 and Tommy into P3. An unbelievable finale. But one Trumpy was not at all surprised by, as he secures an absolutely dominant victory to P1 for round 1 of the Scam GT. Very happy about that, and very sad. Many broken hearts, but many smiles. Trumpy in P1, Tanjeet in P2, and Tommy rounding out the podium, who had a very disastrous race, but somehow clears himself into 15 points in the Drivers' Championship. Trumpy having a 25 blistering points, Tanjeet in 18. Next round, the Hillside Raceway will be a very monumental race. Stay tuned.